I'm gonna say it. Ghost in the Shell isn't the big bad movie that the media has made it out to be. The entire project is met with a well-founded but undeserved hatred that caused it to completely tank in the box office. All of this backlash is thanks to the casting of Scarlett Johansson as Major, which is a huge case of whitewashing, and the media won't let anyone forget this fact, since it's been reblogged and memed across the internet. But let me stop you right there. This movie isn't that terrible. All the reviews rate it as a half-assed B movie, while in reality, this film is a cinematic achievement of sorts. Yes, casting Scarlett Johansson wasn't their best choice, and whitewashing isn't something to be taken lightly. They could have casted countless of Japanese actors, but they didn't, and this movie will always suffer for it. Nonetheless, Ghost in the Shell did do some things very well, but the recognition of these aspects has been obscured or ignored due to the bad connotation around the film. So I'm bringing forth a list, not just any list, a list of all the things that Ghost in the Shell did well. Number 1, the writing. So besides the really dumb plot device of Motoko's mom realizing that Major is her Japanese daughter just from looking at her, the writing of this film is pretty good. There's no scene where I feel like the writers are just choking plot down our throats, and even the small character banner is fun to listen to. But what really is impressive is that here, Major felt very real. She was human, having a human conflict about her identity. A lot of people can relate to that. The film also has a really relaxed way of getting their themes across, by showing the conflicts of this developed universe, which brings up things like gender, robot rights, and consent. On top of that, the whole film is layered with smart writing devices like foreshadowing, metaphor, and parallels. Look at the glitch cat, for example. That isn't just a random cat, that's actually Motoko's cat, which helps tie together these two characters. Also, the way they show the importance of consent through conversations between Major and Hanka Robotics, and then later with Section 9, is very clever. Number 2, art direction. Most live-action adaptations end up looking very fake and plasticky. Way too much hairspray. But Ghost in the Shell succeeded in creating a very vivid and believable universe for the film to take place in. They put a lot of thought and detail into everything. The costuming, the set design, even the ad projections that layer the city. It's amazing. Look at the costuming. It's futuristic and new while bearing a good resemblance to our fashion normatives. Not having absurd future fashion really helps with the immersion. The characters have a tendency to wear primarily desaturated clothes that have hints of vibrant colors in them to help them pop. They took a similar path for the set design. The walls are primarily bland with simple decorations scattered about with hints of color that mainly come from the high-tech aspects of the set, like a computer screen or ad projection. The buildings of the cityscape are all very gray, which contrasts modern-day cities that have a lot of color to them. The technology, the ad projections primarily, are what bring color to the barren cityscape. This helps show one of the film's biggest themes, technology's effect on humanity. Number 3, the lighting. A lot of people don't realize the importance of lighting until they see movies that have significantly different lighting schemes. I'm not just talking about noir. Look at Kong Skull Island. The gaffers of that film could have just created another creature feature action flick and then lit it accordingly, but no. They lit this film very interestingly, setting it apart from Godzilla or King Kong. The same goes for Ghost in the Shell. It could have been your average sci-fi blockbuster lighting, but instead they took a more creative turn. They lit it with a neon scheme in mind. The gaffers really knew when to have color overwhelming the scene or when to have a minimalist palette. They also have colors assigned to certain characters, which tend to show up when said character is not shown directly in the scene, but has a presence to the color atmosphere nonetheless. Number 4, cinematography. The art direction and lighting already make this movie visually pleasing, but the camera adds to that. The composition was amazing. It's very easy to get bombarded by visuals in these types of movies, but it never felt too much in Ghost in the Shell. The cinematography also has a good balance of dynamic and static shots, while also knowing the perfect time to give the film a stiff corporate vibe as well as a more personal and honest atmosphere, which is expressed primarily through the camera work. Number 5, CGI and editing. It is really hard to tell the difference between what is real and what's not because the CGI blends so well with the original footage. It's amazing how seamless it turned out while not sacrificing any of its visual beauty. It's strange how some called the editing out as a serious problem, saying that the speed made it lose impact. The film is edited a lot faster than the Western normative, so it may appear to be weird, but it's really refreshing to see this kind of editing. It's a lot of quick cuts that flow together as a whole very well, making the fight scenes feel realistic and exhilarating. The pacing of the overall film felt just right, never overstepping its welcome. And that's all I got.